the team from OLDMUTUAL, who are very gracious to come and teach us a bit of financial. We've realized that doctors work, then they die poor. Part of the reason is because they don't know where to take their money. Therefore, in a short time, this team will give us how not to die poor and how to enjoy some of the money we've worked so hard to do. Paul is my friend. He's the one who showed me something called MMF. Bado sijaelewa mpaka sahi, but it has helped to grow a little of my money. And Paul, make it short and sweet.
Yes. Good morning. Yes, my name is Paul Leboo from OLDMUTUAL. Thanks, KOGS, for welcoming us. And, yes, King God is my good friend. We work for a journey, actually, about 20 years now, talking about money. Yes, so I welcome my colleague Nicholas to share with us what we have today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. And I want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank the organizers for this event, for the invite, and for accommodating us today. So straight to the point, my name is Nicholas. Nicholas Mutuku is my name. I work with OLDMUTUAL East Africa as the head of training, and I have done this for the last 23 years. I started with business development, doing financial counseling, and financial planning for people. So for the last 23 years, this is what I've done. In the interest of time, let me introduce what we are taking you through. We are taking you through a financial wellness session because many people there are out there. We are people who are very healthy, and I know you are doing what you can do to make sure that the population and that the citizens are healthy, but most of us are financially sick. You may not understand the magnitude until I tell you, but we conducted a financial wellness survey. This was a research that we did last year, and we normally do this each and every calendar year. So last year, we did what we call a financial wellness monitor, and we realized that out of every 10 Kenyans, 4 of them are suffering what we call financial stress. 4 of them are financially stressed. Some of these people are earners, they earn a lot of money, but they are financially stressed. And that is the basis of our talk today. We want to see what we can do to reduce the level of financial stress that we have. Now that gentleman is called Paul Leboo. Paul Leboo is our executive financial advisor. He is one of the people that we depend on in the company to make sure that the people get this information. He has done that for, you said, over 20 years. We also have our friend, James Mutisia, as a manager with us, and then we have another guy called Stephen Sandala out there. So when we did this, we realized that there is need for us to get engaged and to walk this journey with the people. So navigating financial life together with us involves, of course, taking care of your income. We normally say that there is something we call financial planning. Financial planning starts with you understanding your income. What amount of money am I getting? How many income streams do I have? When I get this money, how do I apportion the money? Because sometimes we say people are not just poor. People are poor because their money is uninstructed. They do not instruct their money where to go. They do not give instructions to their money what to do for them. And because most of the time we've had this saying that you must make your money work for you, you must invest your money for growth. But if you do not know the strategy, the formula, and what you need to do, then you might remain a financial dwarf, even though you are earning a lot of money. We have some people who have several income streams, but there is nothing to show for it because they do not apportion their money appropriately. I may not follow everything because the slides are many, and I think I have 20 or so minutes. So the better part of my presentation, you just need to listen in. So at Old Mutual, we actually understand that there is need for holistic living, and that is why we run what we call an integrated financial services. We have all the financial services together in one pot. We have Old Mutual Life that deals with life insurance and investment policies. We also have what we call Old Mutual General Insurance, dealing with the property, what we call short-term investments or short-term covers and protection. We also have Faulu Bank, which deals with financial services like loans and all that. So we run what we call an integrated financial services industry where we protect your property. And we normally say that you guys work very hard for your property and for your assets. And it's always good for you to protect that which you love. If you love your children, you will make sure that they are properly protected. If you love your car, your house, whatever you love, you will make sure that it is properly protected. And in that line, because we are doctors, I want to introduce something called professional indemnity cover. We are professionals, and sometimes out of negligence, I don't know why people say it's negligence, that the doctor's negligence. Sometimes a mistake may occur, but we like talking about negligence. So in case of professional negligence, in quotes, you may suffer heavy financial loss. So there is need for you. I may not introduce the product to you or explain how it works because that's why we have this team out there. You will need to visit our desk. They are here today through tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon. So they'll be here to guide you on a very cheap cover to protect your profession, to protect, of course, what you are doing as a person. Then we have life insurance, which helps to sustain life. For example, you know, life insurance, people do not understand what we mean by life insurance. Life insurance is what we call love insurance. It is for the ones that you love. It helps you leave a legacy for your family. And I have a good example that I may want to speak about. You see, there is somebody who is comfortable today. You are a doctor, you are working, you are living a good life, but you are the sole breadwinner. Now the biggest question is what happens in case you are not there? When you take like a whole life policy, you might decide to take a whole life policy of 10 million and you pay some little cash. Now, knowing very well, when the time comes, not if, because this is whole life, protection until death. When time comes for you to leave, you will leave like 10 million to your children. That is legacy, leaving a legacy for your people. Very important to sustain life. Again, I have seen people who do not take medical cover. Somebody is a doctor, probably running a personal clinic, and they do not have a health cover. Now, what health cover does is to protect your wealth, to protect your assets. In fact, insurance helps protect your assets, like life insurance, because you might be one sickness away from poverty. Assume a doctor who has like a flat of 10 or maybe 15, 20, 30 units, rental unit. That person seems to be doing well. That person is financially independent because come what may, he has a source of income. But do we ask ourselves this one question? What if one day I suffer serious critical illness and I'm required to be airlifted to London or to those other places? What will happen to that property? Most probably that property will be sold to take care of the hospital bills. But when you have a cover in place, it helps protect what you have. We also have asset management, and in asset management we have 3 classes of asset management. One, you can join what we call the money market fund. At Old Mutual we have money market fund where you just self-subscribe. You can register through using your mobile phone, *480#, and you will register and get a permanent number, what we call your account number, and you start trading. The minimum is about 500. You can deposit 5,000, 10 million, 3. We don't have the upper limit. And as we speak now, we are controlling over 30 billion worth of assets from the small segments, from what we call the money market. But when we add what we call deposit administration, we are now managing over 300 billion from Kenyans. Our rate of interest ranges between 10 to 13, 14 thereabout per annum. Currently it's 10.26 thereabout. So that's another area where you can join. And of course, we have banking. Banking is for loans and all that. So our purpose, we exist to transform lives and to enable people achieve their financial goals. So I talked about financial planning. What is financial planning? This is the ability for you to understand your personal financial situation and to be able to make effective decisions for your current and future life. And financial planning starts with understanding your income and then your expenses. Most of the time, our expenses are more than our income. And this applies to all of us. So what do we recommend? Before I even go to the goals, we normally recommend what we call the investor's budget. You can always use the investor's budget to your advantage to help you track your money. Now, we always recommend that you spend 50% on essential needs. You know, we have wants and we have needs. I don't want to go there because we are educated, but we recommend that you use at least 50%, no, at most, not at least, at most, 50% of your total income in terms of what we call essentials. Those are the needs that you have. Needs are those essentials of life that must be met for you to live well. Then, of course, we recommend 30% because you must enjoy life. We cannot kill you today so that you live tomorrow. So we recommend at least you can spend 30,000 on wants. Wants are those things which are good, but they are not necessary. And they are not mandatory. For example, an iPhone is not a need, but a phone is a need. You understand? A Jaguar is a need. A Tesla is a need, but a Toyota is a want. I mean, is a want. But the other one is it's opposite. In other words, what I mean is you need a car to move from one place to the other. That is okay. I think it's a need in the modern world. It's no longer luxury. We need. Like today I came driving. You came here driving. You live here at night driving. It's a need. But you don't need an expensive car for you to move from one place to another. So that's why we recommend 30% can go to, you also need to feel nice, leisure, some holiday, some nice moments in the evening. Spend 30% to feel good because you know what happens to the brain. You know what happens to the chemicals in the brain when you enjoy life. The brain comes up with new ideas to earn more, or rather to produce more. What about the remaining 20%? 20% should never be touched. 20% of your total income, whether a gift from a friend, whether a bonus, whether a side hustle, like what you are doing, like your clinic, whether for your salary, 20% must be committed to investments and saving for the future. And the best financial definition of an investment is employment into the future. We say investment is employment into the future. In other words, today, you have somebody who is paying your bills. Your employer is paying your bills. Who will pay your bills in future? For example, when you retire, do you think your pension will be enough? Should you lose your job? Should you lose your ability to practice what you are doing? Are you confident that you can live without working? So, but when you invest, you are creating another employer because after this life, you will depend on your investment to pay your bills. Very, very important. And that is why, that is the way you should apportion. It's called the investor's budget. That is how you instruct your money. Now, out of the 20%, how should you invest? You can invest 10% in, for example, in government boards, in infrastructure board, which is tax-free. You can invest 5% in money market funds, 5% in life endowment policies. Because again, these things we've consumed. There has been a notion that life insurance does not pay well. The growth is not as we expect, but I'm telling you, things changed from the year 2003. After the IRA, the formation of IRA, I think by last year I had about 6 policies, all of them more than 10 years. One matured on 31st March, so I have about 5 running, and they are paying very well. You need to make sure, for example, if you have a child and you don't have an education policy, then there is a problem. Either there is an information gap, or there is a problem with our priority, or your priority, to be specific. Because remember, for example, I have 3 children, and they depend on me. They have dreams, and I have good dreams for them. I would like to see them graduate. I would like to see them get a good job and enjoy life. But what if something happens to me? What if tomorrow I am not there? Who will take care of these kids? Do you expect the society to take care of these kids? Do you think the aunties and the uncles will take care of these kids? In fact, wasema alikuwa anaringa sababu babake alikuwa ni daktari. So what do? You take an insurance policy to time that child, such that when this child gets to the university or to secondary school, there will be money, there will be flow of income. Now the beauty of an insurance policy is not saving. You guys, you know where you can save. You know where you can put your money for better returns. The beauty of an insurance policy is it has something called waiver of premium benefits. That means if I have a policy for 10 years, and God forbid, I die, or I get permanently disabled within the next 3 years, the remaining premiums until 10 years will be paid by the company. So I think I've talked about budgeting, the 30-20 rule. Now again, I will not talk about the difference between good credit and bad credit or loans. We know that. Let me introduce you to our investment classes. And these are not from Old Mutual. We are here to sharpen your financial understanding. This is across the board. We have these asset classes, and these are the only asset classes that we have in Kenya. You can invest in cash. What do I mean by cash? For example, you give us your 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 50 million, deposit administration. You give us your millions for us to invest and grow your money for you, of course, with a rate of return that we agree with you. You can also, in what we call money market fund, we also have something called wealth management. You give us your money, we trade for you. You can invest in unit trust, that is the money market funds where you can contribute monthly or lump sum. Then we have treasury bills. These are government treasury bills. Government treasury bills are very profitable. These are very safe. There is safety for money, and they are guaranteed by the Central Bank of Kenya. You know, there is a notion that what happens in case there is change of government? What if this government is not voted in? Now, treasury bills, these are not government treasury bills. They are not guaranteed by the government of the day. They are guaranteed by the Central Bank of Kenya, which will be there today, tomorrow, and the days to come, whether there is change of regime or not. So don't fear. Then we have treasury bonds. What is the difference between treasury bonds and treasury bills? Treasury bills are very short term. They are short term, like 30 days, 61 days, 91 days treasury bills. Normally less than a year. They give between 9, 10, 11, 12% return per annum. And you do not get any income until the end of the term, then you sell or you redeem. But then treasury bills are still managed by the Central Bank of Kenya. They are long term. They range from 1 year to 35 years. You can buy a 35-year bond, and then you earn every 6 months. They'll give you income, or they pay interest every 6 months. If I had time, I would have shown you how to layer. If you have 6 million, you invest 1 million in January, another one in Feb, all the way to June. You have invested across 6 months. So, and each will give you money twice. So the board that you invested in January will give you money in July. The one that you invested in Feb will give you money in July. The one that you in August, that by the time you get to the 6 months, the cycle starts again. So you create what we call a permanent income. Like when you retire and you get your lump sum, just go and do layering with the Central Bank of Kenya. Then you will be receiving an income every month with your principal still intact. Then we have listed shares and stocks. Allow me not to talk about shares because you know how we earn in shares through capital appreciation, through dividend and all that. Insurance policies, I have mentioned. I don't want to overemphasize. We have what we call school fees policies. We have saving policies, and we have investment policies, which are market linked, like what we call Lengo Digital, which you can even onboard through your mobile phone. We have alternative investment and commodities. Here we are talking things like rates. That's real estate investment trusts. And I have seen people, these days people are changing. I'm finishing in half a minute now. These days, this country is changing. If you go to Westlands, you will see very many apartments coming up. And that apartment is owned by about 100 people. So people will buy units of that real estate, and then they construct. And then they share the rent proportionally according to the shares contributed by each person. So people are becoming landlords in groups. This is what we call rates. So every single month you are getting an income. I'm just mentioning in passing, these guys are here until tomorrow. Then SACCOs, not others, you have SACCOs. Then we have land and property. Now, if you look at this, I don't know whether we have the arrows. These four are very illiquid. It's not very easy to liquidify them. They are meant for the future and for growth. And there must always be a balance. I know most of us, and especially professionals, when you left school, the first thing that you wanted is to buy a car and to make sure that you have a plot, you can plot in Nyeri, you can plot. Most of us are rich in terms of land, but poor in money. In fact, you find somebody has a net worth of about 100 million in terms of plots. Umenunua ka plot pale, barabara imepita hapo, kamepanda juu, but you are not selling. Now, you find these people, even when they get sick, you know, uko na shamba but unakufa, hakuna pesa ya kupeleka hospitali. By the time you get a buyer for that land, how easy is it to liquidate it? To let us make sure that we have both movable and immovable, both liquid and illiquid properties at the same time. So I said in half a minute, and I want to keep my time. So make sure you have the now money, an emergency fund that can take your lives, that can take you for 3 to 6 months of your needs. For example, if you stopped working today, do you have enough that can sustain you for 6 months without compromising the lifestyle that you are living? Then the goal-driven money. What goals do you have? Where are you investing for those goals in future? And of course, the future money. Are you confident that at retirement you will live a decent life? You need to think about that now. So with that, allow me to stop there. I've talked about insurance and all this. Now, professional indemnity. I don't know whether you will take a screenshot. This is very important for you. And we have only 2 professions that we are allowed to get this. In Old Mutual, we have professional indemnity for doctors and professional indemnity for engineers only, not any other profession. So talk to these guys, they will help you. Thank you so much, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you very much.